origins. Good evening. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. America is back. That was the message from President-elect Joe Biden today as he publicly introduced key members of his national security and foreign policy team, 6 men and 6 women with diverse backgrounds and experiences. And we also heard from President Trump today, first in a 64-second talk about a record high on Wall Street, and a second time to pardon 2 turkeys ahead of Thanksgiving, corn and cob. He did not take any questions, and ABC News has confirmed tonight the Biden team is in touch with all federal agencies after his transition officially began last night. He will soon receive his first presidential daily briefing. Our Rachel Scott leads us off tonight from Wilmington, Delaware, with more on the new team that Biden says is ready to lead the world, not retreat from it.
With the transition finally underway, President-elect Joe Biden today unveiling much of his national security team with a clear message. The era of America First is over, and we're ready to work with our allies again.
It's a team that reflects the fact that America is back, ready to lead the world, not retreat from it.
President Trump's name mentioned not even once, but everything about today's event amounted to a sharp rebuke. On stage, everyone socially distanced and in masks. The podium wiped down after each speaker. Most of Biden's nominees, Washington veterans he's worked with for years. Longtime aide Tony Blinken, now up for Secretary of State.
As the president-elect said, we can't solve all of the world's problems alone. We need to be working with other countries. We need their cooperation. We need their partnership.
Biden's nominee for ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield, a 35-year veteran of the State Department.
I want to say to you, America is back. Multilateralism is back. Diplomacy is back.
Homeland Security nominee Alejandro Mayorkas, the first Latino nominated for the post, and the son of immigrants, setting a new tone.
The Department of Homeland Security has a noble mission to help keep us safe and to advance our proud history as a country of welcome.
And Avril Haines, the first woman nominated as Director of National Intelligence, a role that became politicized under Trump.
Mr. President-elect, you know that I have never shied away from speaking truth to power.
The president-elect also tapping his longtime friend John Kerry for a new position, climate czar, with a permanent seat on the National Security Council.
President Joe Biden will trust in God, and he will also trust in science to guide our work on Earth to protect God's creation.
With the transition now underway, Biden will soon receive national security briefings.
They've been very forthcoming, offering all access, and so we're going to be starting those on a regular basis.
But no contact yet from President Trump.
Mr. President-elect, will you meet with President Trump?
Thanks, guys.
Many are wondering if Trump and Biden will even meet or speak prior to January 20th. And Rachel Scott joins us now from Biden headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware. Rachel, it's a history-making group so far, including the nominee for the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, his name is Alejandro Mayorkas. He is the son of immigrants, and he sent a really strong message already that his administration, that the Biden administration, will be drastically different from the policies that President Trump has put forward. And Joe Biden today had a sharp emphasis on diversity. He has already said that he wants his cabinet, he wants his administration to be the most diverse in American history. Of course, this is just the first of the rollouts of the cabinet picks. Next, we are told, sources say, that he's expected to tap Janet Yellen to serve as the Secretary of Treasury. For 231 years in this country, we have never seen a woman. She would change that if confirmed, Lindsay.
Things are looking a lot different. And Rachel, with containing this pandemic, the top priority for President-elect Biden, I understand that his team has also reached out to Dr. Fauci.
They have, and Joe Biden said that as soon as those federal agencies were given the green light, that the outreach was immediate and it was also sincere. So tonight we know that his team is in touch with Dr. Anthony Fauci. We also know that his team is in touch with Operation Warp Speed about plans to distribute the vaccine. And of course, this does open the door for Joe Biden to start getting those critical and classified national security briefings, Lindsay.
Rachel Scott for us in Wilmington, Delaware. Thanks so much, Rachel. And now we turn back to our country's ongoing crisis with the coronavirus pandemic. Coast to coast, we are learning of overwhelmed hospitals and PPE shortages as cases continue to rise. The U.S. now faces nearly 260,000 deaths and more than 12.5 million cases as the CDC director provided a grim outlook, saying mitigation steps are needed to keep some healthcare systems from, quote, going over the top. Our Tom Yamas now with more on how states are scrambling to try to prevent further loss of life.
Tonight, an all-out battle against a surging virus. Teams of Air Force nurses deployed to overwhelmed hospitals in North Dakota. In El Paso, the National Guard helping out in morgues running out of space. And in New York City, the original epicenter of this pandemic, the first patient transferred into this reopened field hospital on Staten Island where cases have tripled.
So your field hospital's up and running and the first patient with COVID has just gone in?
Yes, we're actually in the process. They're on their way. Our first patient is on their way right now. And we'll be taking well over a dozen patients today.
And tonight, with millions on the move, Thanksgiving threatening a nation already facing a dire prognosis.
If, in fact, you're in a situation when you do the things that are increasing the risk, the travel, the congregate setting, not wearing masks, the chances are that you will see a surge superimposed upon a surge.
For the last 14 days, a record number of Americans hospitalized, and this week, a death reported every minute in this country. And despite the CDC warning to avoid travel and gatherings, testing lines from California to Florida to North Carolina only growing as Americans hit the roads and pack airports.
This is the first time that I've traveled during COVID, so I was a little anxious. In front of us, the guy coughed in front of us, and we was like, oh my God.
And still, every day, teams on the front lines witnessing unthinkable loss.
You have someone that is dying, actively dying, and you have to set up a FaceTime to hopefully get people involved in the dying process. There are nurses every day that cry because of this.
Today, we met 57-year-old Carl Worden, a contractor from South Carolina. He survived COVID, but it ravaged his lungs. That's one of his lungs there on the left. You can see how deformed it appears next to a healthy lung.
They actually had to crack my rib cage open.
Doctors at Brigham and Women's Hospital were able to save his life with a double lung transplant.
Carl, you were one of the lucky ones. You got a second chance. What do you think every time you take a breath now?
I'm thankful every day. Every day I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my family, because they were always there with me. So. But yeah, people need to pay attention. It's not a joke.
Not at all a joke. And Tom Yamas joins us now from that field hospital in Staten Island right here in New York City. And Tom, you're getting word about a possible change in quarantine policy from the CDC?
That's right, Lindsay. This would have to do with potential exposure. Right now, the guidelines are a 14-day quarantine, but the testings are, Admiral Jawar says they're now studying and investigating to possibly shorten that quarantine time to 10 days, accompanied by a negative test. Now, that negative test is key. But again, this is something they're still looking at. They're still studying it. The guidelines haven't changed just yet. Lindsay?
Tom Yamas, thank you. The COVID crisis is making Thanksgiving especially hard for the millions of families most in need as hunger and food insecurity run rampant. One charitable organization reports that nearly half of all the people now receiving donations are doing so for the very first time. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, has more.
Tonight, the nation's need on display in those hours-long lines for Thanksgiving meals in cities across the country.
Happy Thanksgiving!
The pandemic triggering a hunger crisis. 26 million Americans saying their families don't have enough to eat, more than doubling in just months. And as many as 11 million children are going hungry.
What would you do if you didn't have this help for Thanksgiving?
If I didn't have no help, I don't know how I'm going to eat for Thanksgiving.
In Los Angeles, the Grace of God Church handing out 2,000 meals.
We're seeing people come through in Mercedes-Benz and Lexus and Range Rovers who never thought they would be in a position where they'd be in need. But, you know, the thing about need is it has no address.
Feeding America's seeing that trend nationwide of people needing charitable food for the first time.
We're especially concerned about the holidays and the winter ahead. About 40% of the people who are turning to us for help have never before relied upon the charitable food system.
Hundreds lining up in Palm Beach, Florida.
Our landlord kicked us out, and having this definitely helps with my 2.5-year-old son.
In Phoenix, one food bank saying it's given out the most in its 53-year history. Single mom Andrea Thomas forced to make tough decisions.
I pay for medication for both me and my daughter every month and stuff like that, so I've had to really juggle and find out what's a priority and what can wait.
And help coming from across the country. The group East West Food Rescue delivering 18 million meals in 19 states since the pandemic began.
We're going to be delivering boxes to different displaced groups of folks that are definitely waiting for this food.
Such a difficult time for so many. Matt Gutman joins us now. And Matt, so heartbreaking to see the massive need from so many right now. And you've been speaking with some of the people most at risk at this time. What are their biggest concerns, and is there enough being done to help?
I think a tremendous amount is being done. There have been more donations, Lindsay, towards COVID-related causes than in any given year, right? $13 billion. It's actually the organizations that are not directly linked to COVID that are suffering this year. But the need is so tremendous. We haven't really seen this in many decades. One of the things that was sad, just talking to the people in the lines here, Lindsay, is that people feel humbled coming here because it's their first time. These are not people who are accustomed to handouts. They're not people who are accustomed to waiting in line to be given grocery bags full of food. A lot of pride here has been lost, but organizations like this at least try to make it acceptable to people, try to give them a little bit of pep as they leave. And the other biggest issue is the loneliness. So much isolation, so much loneliness during this holiday. It just compounds the misery of people feeling poor and desperate and in some cases sick. Lindsay.
Yeah, difficult on a number of levels. And Matt Gutman, thanks as always for your reporting. Tomorrow marks 6 months since the world watched George Floyd's life end at the knee of an officer. The streets erupted soon after as calls grew for a radical transformation of policing in America. This, alongside the pandemic and hunger crisis, will be a huge challenge for the Biden-Harris administration. And we wanted to know the status of the so-called Defund the Police movement. Our Alex Perez examined Minneapolis and what can be learned from that city's struggles.
He can't breathe! He can't breathe!
The scars and community wounds from the summer of unrest can still be seen everywhere. 6 months after the world watched George Floyd's final moments, the rubble of the 3rd Precinct Police Station is seemingly frozen in time, burned down to the ground by protesters. Some owners, weary of repeated looting, never took down the boards that protected their businesses. And graffiti across the city echoing the rallying cry of many protesters, abolish the police. A promise some Minneapolis City Council members made as they tried to convince the community what happened to Floyd would never happen to anyone else.
Our commitment is to end our city's toxic relationship with the Minneapolis Police Department.
But that controversial promise hit some major roadblocks. Earlier this month, the commission that oversees the city's charter and constitution rejecting the council's proposal to dismantle the police. The next option would be to let residents vote on the matter. That's if the council can get it on the ballot in time for 2021. According to recent stats released by the MPD, so far this year, already more than 70 homicides. That's nearly double the number all of last year. Assaults up 24%, robberies climbing 45%, and carjackings up by an alarming 319%. The council ultimately granting the police department an additional $500,000 to bring in officers from surrounding agencies to help police the city.
Our city is bleeding at this moment, and I'm trying to do all I can to stop that bleeding. And I'm hoping that through having the funds to launch a citywide joint enforcement team initiative, we can try to stop the bleeding here in our city.
You voted to defund police, not refund police.
Community organizer Marsha Howard calls the funding move a slap in the face.
$500,000 more to get outside cops to come into this city, when one of the biggest problems was that over 80% of the cops in Minneapolis don't live in Minneapolis. They're not our community, but they police our community. it's a problem.
Howard maintains the George Floyd Memorial site in South Minneapolis. She says she was hopeful when the city council initially voted to defund the police. Now she's unsure what the future holds for residents who don't trust and fear police.
Especially in a corner that has seen over-policing, over-criminalization, and the callous murder of a black person with impunity. There's no argument to be made that defunding police and taking those monies and investing it into deterrence, putting it and investing it into social services would be a better option.
But according to a recent poll by local news outlets, 44% of Minneapolis residents don't want to see a reduction of the police force, compared to 40% who do. The rest, unsure. David Bicking owns a small auto repair shop less than 2 miles from where Floyd was killed. He says he's seen the rise in crime firsthand.
Shootings in the neighborhood are definitely up. We see it here. Catalytic converter thefts are up. We hear more about people's cars being stolen. There is some significant increase in certain types of crime.
Bicking is a member of a local police watchdog group. He supports reforming the police, not defunding it, as some of the loudest activists and some city council members have pushed for.
They didn't ask anybody else before they made that resolution or before they introduced the charter amendment. They just talked to people who they knew were going to agree with them. So this has been a problem for a long, long time.
According to that same poll, many who oppose less police on the street are African American. Of black residents surveyed, 50% say they don't agree with shrinking the police force. Lisa Clemens is a former cop and now runs a violence prevention organization in Minneapolis. She argues the recent rise in crime is proof the city needs police officers.
Majority of us who are boots on the ground in the community, we work side by side with the police and with our chief because we know we can't do it alone, and neither can they.
We've seen in Minneapolis, in particular, violence numbers sort of skyrocket now in the months and weeks after George Floyd. Are police afraid to do their job?
I don't know that they're afraid to do their job. I think that's part of it. I think they feel beat up on, and I think you have to be able to get out your crying towel, wipe your tears away, and go do the job you were hired to do. But I do understand that feeling of abandonment or that feeling of this is all we have is us.
According to the MPD, they've seen a reduction in staff. Response times in the city are reportedly slower, and morale in some areas of the force is low. The department issuing a statement to ABC News, reading in part, "Right now, our officers are committed to serving the communities they've sworn to protect. Our officers are showing up every day and doing the best job they can do with the resources they're provided. The addition of outside support will allow us to target violent crimes and the response to those crimes." This is not where Minneapolis City Council member Jeremiah Ellison, who supports defunding, thought the process to dismantle the Minneapolis police force would be 6 months after Floyd's death.
What do you say to these people 6 months later where they feel that really we're still in the same place?
If people feel like not a lot has happened in the last 6 months, I think they're right. The mayor and the chief rewrote a use of force policy that had been rewritten as recently as 2016. And I think that ultimately we're doing the same old things that we've been doing with regard to this reform discussion, and it hasn't led to a lot of change. And so I encourage people to keep generating that momentum, keep calling your city council members, keep complaining.
And it's not just Minneapolis. The Defund the Police movement across the country is facing challenges on many levels. During the 2020 election, President Trump using the turmoil to paint a picture of chaos.
It's crazy what's going on. Defund and abolish the police. How's that, a good idea?
On the other end of the political spectrum, progressives like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez supporting significant systemic change. Meanwhile, President-elect Joe Biden adamant that he does not support abolishing police.
And I'm totally opposed to defunding the police officers.
Professor Alex Vitale, who has written in favor of sharply reducing police presence in communities, says it's the term defund the police that is more controversial than the policies themselves.
I don't have any investment
in the term defund the police. That's not a term that I ever used before this summer. It's not one that I regularly use now. When we talk to people about the idea of addressing their problems through non-police strategies, turns out that is in fact very popular. And so what's needed is more work on the ground in communities of all types to work with them to explore what these alternatives might look like.
And while the focus is on Minneapolis, it's not the first city to work to implement measures to scale back the presence of police in their communities.
If you look at the cities that actually took very concrete steps in this direction, it was primarily those cities where there had been extensive ongoing local organizing happening for years before this summer. And this means that this is something that's going to take time, that there needs to be a lot more community outreach, a lot more public education, and a lot more grassroots organizing until cities are able to more clearly navigate this complex policy question.
The city is now in the process of setting its budget for 2021 at the forefront of voters' minds. The nearly $180 million currently allocated for the police force. A final vote on the budget by the council is set for December 9th.
We talk and talk about healing. We talk and talk about safety. What brings us safety, though?
Community. As for organizers like Marcia Howard, whether defunding police materializes or not, she says she'll keep fighting for change.
What we're doing right here in Minneapolis has made an impact throughout the world, and we continue to do it. We will stand in solidarity against systemic racism, against anti-Blackness, and against policing as we know it. We're not going anywhere.
Alex Perez, ABC News, Chicago.
Our thanks to Alex. And when we come back, the storm that's sweeping from the Midwest toward the Northeast just in time for Thanksgiving. We're tracking its potential impact on holiday travel. Russia releases more information on its Sputnik COVID vaccine as the crisis in that country worsens. But speaking of vaccines, up next, our Bob Woodruff goes to the hub of Operation Warp Speed. How long will it take for the average American to get the vaccine? And what's the rollout plan?
Admit it. These days, what you need to know seems to change, well, like every day. So what is it that you really need to know, want to know, to help you not just get through your day, but make the most of it? Feel smarter, feel better, feel happier. Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon? GMA 3, what you need to know. It's all about you. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. This is going to be so good.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
What you're seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall.
This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
So this is the 4th weekend of protest.
Watch ABC News on location for Facebook Watch.
Your mom said, comb your hair. Your dad told you, smarten up. Your dog is judging you right now. And your best friend just called you crazy. We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight. Now, imagine getting your news like that. No bull, no spin, just give it to me straight. Straightforward news, straight to the heart of the story. ABC News, straightforward.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. So if you like getting behind the biggest news stories of the day, inside all the details, the backstory, and what will happen next, then listen to Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. It's like no other news podcast out there. Even the critics agree. Listen free on Apple Podcasts.
Take a listen to the dramatic 911 audio released by Ohio authorities of a woman who fell asleep at the wheel of her minivan and then crashed into a river.
Water is like coming beneath my feet, and I'm really scared right now. I don't know how to get out of my car.
How high is the water?
It's up to my window.
Up to her window.
I'm scared. I'm really scared.
I'm getting them out to you.
Officers pulled her out of the water just as the van became submerged. And now to the race for a vaccine. We're getting more optimistic news that an effective FDA-authorized COVID-19 vaccine could be just weeks away, and distribution is set to begin within 24 hours of that FDA green light. This comes as the worldwide death toll closes in at 1.5 million. ABC's Bob Woodruff was given exclusive access inside Operation Warp Speed and brings us tonight's Vaccine Watch.
More than 8 months into the pandemic, just 2 weeks from now, vaccines could get emergency use authorization, and then within hours, they will hit the roads for delivery all across the U.S.
24 hours later, vaccines are on the street, right?
24 hours is all it's going to take.
Yep.
Four-star General Gustav Perna knows it well. After 37 years in the Army, he was quickly appointed as the COO of Operation Warp Speed. Now he is in charge of deploying trucks and planes to fight COVID-19, often comparing this battle to the U.S. military D-Day attack on the coast of France in 1944.
I wrote down D-Day is the 14th. That's my best guess.
That's going to be climbing the cliff of France, huh?
Yeah, yeah, not as
deadly. As soon as a vaccine gets FDA authorization, there will be designated locations in each state to get the shot.
So each one of these blue dots are where people could get their shots.
That's correct.
As the COVID-19 pandemic was spiraling out of control last spring, top government officials hatched a multi-billion-dollar plan to develop and deliver a safe and effective vaccine in record time with military-like precision. Now, 3 leading vaccine makers are reporting more than 90% efficacy in their vaccines' clinical trials.
What are the numbers? How many vaccines are going to be going out, and how many people do you think it'll?
So initially, if D-Day happens, like I said, somewhere between the 10th and the 14th, there'll be roughly about 6.4 million doses available.
ABC News got exclusive access to what's going on behind the scenes at Operation Warp Speed.
These are the ones of all the records of everything you've done?
Everything I've approved, every meeting that we've been in, every effort along the way, charts of things I want to track, So
how many of those do you have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those?
I just finished number 6. Well, I'm halfway through number 7. So
General Perna tracks everything from his office here in Washington, D.C.
This was my assessment about the news we were getting. So Pfizer submitted a EUA on Friday, right? We provided allocations to the states for them to start doing planning. We know the CDC is running ASIP here to assess some things.
Everything mapped out to a T, but he's trying to hit a moving target, and as more information hits his desk, Perna must adjust his schedule to account for it.
This is not something that's normal, right? We don't normally produce hundreds of thousands of millions of doses of vaccine in a short period of time.
Companies like Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca all have government contracts to deliver vaccines to the U.S., contracts signed months ago before we even knew if their vaccines could prove safe and effective.
So it was a real roll of the dice. I mean, for the government to give millions and millions of dollars to a company hasn't proven anything yet. It's never been done.
It's unheard of. It is not done in this world to that end. I will tell you, from the day we were given the mission, we have received 100% funding that we've needed and 100% priority to execution.
What did you think about it when you heard this? That this was going to be fully funded with no proof of success?
It was amazing. Quite frankly, I've never done anything at that level of full priority, full funding. Nothing.
If that plan works, the hope is that by the end of the year, it will have enough vaccine doses for 20 million Americans.
That all depends on what the FDA does and when they do it. And so we are prepared, we're planning for everything to be in place on the 4th of December, pending a decision by the FDA, which we think will be around the middle part of the month.
So you're ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
The first round of vaccines will likely go to the nation's healthcare workers, according to the CDC's Independent Vaccine Advisory Committee. With limited supplies, the first Americans to receive a vaccine will have no choice which one they will get. And there are still kinks to be worked out.
The colors are, the darker the color, the more cases per 100,000 that are in that particular county inside this jurisdiction.
So there are a lot of patients in these colored ones like that, but there's only one place where they can get the shot.
Well, I mean,
or two over here.
Right. So at this point in time, and they may have other negotiations going on, but these are hot spots going on right now inside the state.
But as more vaccines come online, officials predict that all American seniors could have doses by January.
These boxes are going to be in the FedEx. Is this all going to be delivered with, Christmas gifts in boxes next to it in the back of the FedEx plane?
Potentially. The first doses we anticipate going out at the same time Christmas gifts will be delivered.
This could be somebody's Christmas gift.
It could be.
And by the summer, they hope any American who wants a vaccine will be able to get one.
You would take this vaccine as soon as it's released?
I will and have asked that I get vaccinated as soon as anybody will allow me to get vaccinated.
But any vaccine released in the United States is sure to face challenges, not just shipping the vaccine across the country, but also convincing Americans to take it and come back for their second dose.
The big difference between what used to happen in these kinds of vaccine releases and approvals is that this time you had so many different companies getting so much money from the government and with so much pressure on them to speed this up, but it was equally safe, as it has in the past.
I would actually say safer.
This is Bob Woodruff, tracking the race for a vaccine.
Perhaps some Christmas miracles inside those boxes are thanks to Bob Woodruff. And still ahead here on Prime, the mysterious monolith discovered deep in the desert. How did this get here? Masks have become a way of life, but how do you know when it's no longer as effective and time to throw it away? And we reported earlier about Biden's cabinet, but coming up, we'll take a look at the unfolding transition by the numbers. First, our tweet of the day. The NAACP pays tribute to the first and only black mayor of New York City who has passed away.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source, ABC News. Wow. Breaking news, live events as they happen, streaming live, non-stop, straight to you. Original, on the edge, breakthrough storytelling. From ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want, free. And imagine the most celebrated, epic live events and moments, all playing out right before your eyes.
See those flames behind me?
And go deeper inside the groundbreaking exclusives from the campaign trail only ABC News gets. Watch ABC News Live right now and anytime. Streaming on Roku, Hulu, Facebook, and abcnews.com.
ABC News Live. Streaming everywhere, right to you.
ABC News Live.
The Americans here on the ground and the Iraqis. 18,000 tons. Patatas. Ismail? David.
For Ground Zero from Hurricane Michael.
You can see just home after home.
David, thanks for meeting you.
This was your view.
My favorite view.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, mornings may look different these days, but where you start your day,
where you spend your mornings, where you get connected to everything that's happening.
And face it, there's a whole lot happening in our world these days.
Where you get all the breaking new information of the day to help you navigate through these times.
That's why we're here.
Good morning, sunshine.
And making sure you start your day off with a smile and some sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Oh, how I love saying that.
Wake me up.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
This is GMA3, what you need to know. GMA3.
A third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon.
It's all about you. Lunchtime on ABC.
Welcome back, everybody. And now to the presidential transition. More than 2 weeks after Biden clinched the presidency, the GSA has finally given President-elect Joe Biden's team its approval to begin the formal transition process. Here's what this formality means by the numbers. The GSA can now release $7.3 million of taxpayer funds to Biden's transition team, along with 175,000 square feet of federal office space, including secure facilities for sensitive intelligence briefings. The Biden-Harris team also gets access to career officials at more than 100 federal agencies and can coordinate with the 17 agencies that do intelligence work. Transition directors can now deliver briefing materials that they spent 6 months preparing, and resources become available to help Biden's team vet and fill the 1,250 top positions that require Senate confirmation. While recent presidents have had about 77 days for their formal transitions, with the exception of George W. Bush, President-elect Biden has a total of 57 days. And we still have lots to get to here on Prime. The Dow's historic rise above 30,000. But what, if anything, does that mean for Main Street? And speaking of history, it was made last night on the football field. We'll explain. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
Is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. #1 in politics, and most watched on this historic election night versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show, and #1 in streaming news. Most trusted, most watched. ABC News is America's #1 news.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. So if you like getting behind the biggest news stories of the day, inside all the details, the backstory, and what will happen next, then listen to Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. It's like no other news podcast out there. Even the critics agree. Listen free on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, mornings may look different these days, but where you start your day,
where you spend your mornings, where you get connected to everything that's happening.
And face it, there's a whole lot happening in our world these days.
Where you get all the breaking new information of the day to help you navigate through these times.
That's why we're here.
Good morning, sunshine.
And making sure you start your day off with a smile and some sunshine.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. Oh, how I love saying that.
Wake me up.
The most powerful stories of our time anytime. Nightline.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Airports packed with travelers trying to get out for the holiday.
All the airlines seem to be doing the good precautions, so we were trying to play safe and just live our lives as well.
More than 3 million people screened at TSA checkpoints over the weekend, the most since the pandemic began, despite the CDC urging people to stay home and avoid travel.
What we're doing now is going to be reflected 2-3 weeks from now.
And right now in the U.S., the situation is dire.
The cases in this state are just going up and up and up every single day. And there doesn't seem to be an end in sight.
Testing is skyrocketing ahead of the holiday. People lining up across the country, some waiting up to 8 hours, others unable to find an available test at all. Wall Street, for the first time ever, the Dow has surpassed 30,000. Susan Schmidt, head of U.S. equities for Aviva Investors, says the country is relieved to have election results and vaccines on the horizon.
I think we're just seeing positive thoughts and optimism coming back into the market.
The stock market's just broken 30,000. Never been broken, that number.
The president seemed to be out there taking credit for this big boost in the stock market.
And it's the 48th time that we've broken records during the Trump administration, and I just want to congratulate all the people within the administration that work so hard.
OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma pleading guilty to federal criminal charges, formally admitting a role in the opioid crisis. The company pleaded guilty to 3 criminal charges connected to the opioid epidemic that has contributed to hundreds of thousands of deaths over the past 2 decades.
Whenever something happens for the first time in the NFL, it's significant. The officiating crew for this game gives us a unique reason to root, not because of any one person on the crew, but because of what they represent as a group. The first all-African-American officiating crew in league history.
Young officials who see me will be inspired and get excited about officiating. It's an exciting time for me to be a part of something special and something that's going to be remembered for eternity.
Some of the first measurable snow of the season fell in parts of the Chicago area, coming a little later in the year than expected.
Kind of feels good.
I just don't like winter so long. In the beginning, I like it, but it's just too long. I want it to go away.
We've already seen the damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour from Gage to Woodward, Oklahoma. Oklahoma will take on the severe storms tonight, but Kansas City tonight over through western Illinois, that's where the heaviest rain will be. So I want you to watch as that warm front pushes north if you're traveling 70 or 35 there. Then Chicago tomorrow, 90, 94. Western Kentucky, even Cincinnati, as the warm front lifts through, could see severe storms turn into just some heavy rain. They'll lose their intensity by the time they make it to eastern Pennsylvania, Baltimore, or say even Boston, but that makes for a wet Thanksgiving in the Northeast.
Welcome back. Despite the warnings, millions are preparing to travel this holiday week. But what we do now may impact the holidays in the future. Our Gio Benitez has more.
Record-breaking numbers of travelers over the weekend. More than 3 million people screened at TSA checkpoints between Friday and Sunday, flying for the holiday despite that CDC warning not to travel.
We haven't had Thanksgiving as a family in 12 years, so yeah, with flights kind of being cheap. And I already had COVID, so I was like, perfect, I can go somewhere.
But experts say immunity is not guaranteed, and there have been documented cases of reinfection. And those air travel numbers don't even include the 48 million others who AAA believes will drive. Will Mason says he has no choice but to travel home. His college is going virtual.
It's not really the thing you want to hear is not right before you go home is don't travel. But I guess I don't really have an option there.
But the travel rush isn't over. The Sunday after Thanksgiving is projected to be the busiest travel day. Now a new warning from the nation's top infectious disease expert, saying travelers today could make the surge even worse just in time for Christmas.
What we're doing now is going to be reflected 2-3 weeks from now.
The CDC pointing to how hard it is to stay 6 feet away from people at airports, bus stations, train stations, and rest stops. And while studies show mask use on airplanes dramatically reduces risk, experts warn about shuttles and ride shares, which don't have the same air filtration.
All the airlines seem to be doing the good precautions, so yeah. So we're trying to play it safe, and we'll just live our lives as well.
And the CDC is laying out which travel habits have the lowest risk and the highest risk. Let's go ahead and start with the lowest risk right now, staying home, of course, but also short trips by car with members of your household with no stops. Risks get higher when you start taking trips with people who are not in your household or even getting on a train or a bus. The CDC says the highest risk, flights, especially with layovers and getting on a small cruise ship or riverboat. Lindsay, we have already seen cases there.
Gio, thank you. Turning now to the first nation to announce that it had successfully created a COVID-19 vaccine, Russia. That announcement was met over the summer with widespread skepticism and questions about transparency. Now, fast forward several months later, Russia is battling a surge in COVID cases. But tonight, the country claims their vaccine works as well as the two main candidates here in the U.S. and is much cheaper to produce. Patrick Reevell has more.
We're entering one of the centers of Moscow's coronavirus epidemic. This exhibition hall, now a hospital for hundreds of patients, and more are arriving every day.
Doctors tell us that there are 500 patients in this hospital right now, with about 50 more coming in each day. They're going to open up a new complex to try and house more of the patients that are coming.
The world raised eyebrows when Russia was the first to register its COVID vaccine back in August. Critics said the process had been rushed, there hadn't been enough testing, not enough transparency. Mass production of that vaccine has since run into trouble, and Russia is now swamped by the second wave. Moscow has opened several temporary hospitals like this to try to absorb a flood of patients.
Everything is okay. Our food is good. We're given a lot of attention. Everything is clean. We're all satisfied.
They are impressively modern, clean and well organized. It's how Russia would like to be able to handle the pandemic. But outside of Moscow, things look a lot different. Across Russia's vast regions, in many places, its poorly resourced health system is overwhelmed. Patients lying in corridors. This video prompting an outcry and a promise by authorities to investigate. In Barnaul, a hospital basement filled with bodies. This video leading authorities to say they had to be stored there because staff haven't been able to keep up with autopsies. In many places, hospitals are so full that they're having to turn even seriously ill patients away. Here, an exhausted paramedic begging for doctors to accept a 90-year-old patient. Authorities responding to this video, saying the patient was later hospitalized.
I think that we just have a disaster.
Nikolai Kashirin, a journalist in Siberia, found himself in this hospital.
I laid in the corridor for 3 days. There were 2 men and 3 women next to me.
Back in October, oxygen supplies ran short in several regional hospitals. Authorities raced to install extra tanks. In Siberia, one tank exploded soon after it was installed. In Novosibirsk, almost 2,000 miles from Moscow, doctors are so stretched, former patients have been volunteering to drive them to visit COVID patients in their homes. They say a doctor has sometimes been attending 40 at-home visits a day.
There's so many people getting sick around, and there's such a load on the health system. People should unite and help one another.
As the health system in many regions is pushed to the brink of collapse, the government is portraying things as under control. It has resisted ordering tough lockdown measures, and critics have accused Russia of falsifying COVID statistics to conceal the scale of the crisis.
It's just a complete fake. The case statistics, just written, just drawn by hand, it's have nothing with reality, almost nothing with reality.
The official toll now stands at 36,000 deaths, but Raksha and other experts say the real death count is more likely well over over 100,000 and still growing.
If you think about only developed nations, I mean like European or North American nations, Russia will take at least second place, if not first.
Russian officials had said they hoped to counter the second wave with a vaccine. Today, Russia announced preliminary results from its phase 3 trial, claiming that its Sputnik V vaccine has over 95% efficacy. But it has been struggling to mass manufacture it, having to radically reduce plans for a mass rollout. The US and Europe now have 3 vaccines awaiting approval. US officials hope that the first Americans may start to receive an approved vaccine as early as December 11th. In the meantime, as elsewhere, Russians are facing a long, hard winter. Patrick Reevell in Moscow for ABC News Live.
Thanks to Patrick for that in-depth report. It has been a few months since we started wearing masks to protect ourselves from COVID. Many people wear cloth masks, and they are said to be effective, but experts warn that they may need to be replaced more often than you think. Will Reeve has more.
As coronavirus cases continue to surge across the nation, mask wearing remains key to containing the spread. Proof here that droplets are capable of traveling nearly 8 feet with no face covering.
This is what's under the hood.
And in a Duke University test of 14 commonly used types of masks, one of the top performers, the poly-cotton mask. But with those masks such a regular part of our daily lives, is the one you might have been wearing for months wearing out?
You can imagine that a mask, as it gets older, especially a cotton fabric mask, it might get looser. The more looser the fabric is, the more that the really small particles that you expire that you can't necessarily see with the naked eye, but the more of those that they can escape.
Joyce Chung wears a mask whenever she leaves her Los Angeles apartment.
We do try to maintain our masks, so we try to wash them at least once a month. I think over time they do start to break down.
So how do you know when your mask might need replacing?
If you can see light through the mask, it's not going to be doing its job. If you see fraying at the edges or the elastic seems to be worn, it's either curling or warped or it seems a little bit fragile. Those are your cues to really throw those away and replace them with newer ones.
I'm going to hold this clean mask up to the light. Still good.
Epidemiologist Chris Johnson recommends cloth masks be replaced every 2 to 3 months to be safe.
You can see that the nose piece, the metal nose piece to keep this mask in place, is actually poking out.
And to check them for signs of wear and tear every time you clean them.
This one's like way too loose for me now. I can't even wear it. But it used to be able to fit really closely here. As you can see, it's too stretchy here to wear.
Some news you can use there from Will. And when we come back, who put this thing here? What is it and why?
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. #1 in the morning, #1 in the evening, with America's most watched newscast. #1 in late night versus the competition. #1 in politics, and most watched on this historic election night versus the competition. The #1 daytime talk show, and #1 in streaming news. Most trusted, most watched. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any place else. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's most watched program across all of television.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
What you're seeing right now, this is part of the eye wall. This procession of migrants goes back 2 miles.
There is going to be catastrophic damage.
This fire has made a run. You can see those flames shooting up into the sky.
We are on the jam-packed red carpet.
To the right, guys.
So this is the 4th weekend of protest.
Watch ABC News on location for Facebook Watch.
Breaking news, context, analysis.
With today's extraordinary news cycle,
Now is the perfect time for ABC News Live.
A streaming news game changer. The time is now for ABC News Live. Get it streaming everywhere.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Finally tonight, a very curious sighting in a remote part of the country, a mysterious metal structure that offers a lot more questions than answers. Our Clayton Sandell has this unusual story.
It starts like a good sci-fi movie in an area of Utah people actually call Mars of the Earth.
The intrepid explorers go down to investigate the alien life form.
Wildlife officials minding their own business, counting bighorn sheep from a helicopter last week, looked down and spotted this.
What the heck is that?
The crew landed the chopper and began to investigate, finding a shiny triangular monolith standing about 2 Earthlings high, solidly mounted to the rock.
They've cut it in.
One of the crew members notices the monolith points toward a split in the canyon wall, perhaps suggesting the alignment might have some type of Stonehenge-like significance.
It's just wild.
There are many questions. Is it a rogue art installation, a practical joke? And most importantly, how did they get it here? Of course, it didn't take long for social media to conjure up theories about alien invasions.
Even going down there, they were nervous, like, were they going to get teleported to another dimension or something? Upon closer inspection, this is definitely a human-made object and placed there by their fellow human beings, and it's not anything other than somebody's attempt at maybe an art installation or something like that.
Okay, so maybe it is human, but you can't help be reminded of mystery monoliths in movies like 2001 and Arrival.
The chemical composition of their spaceship is unknown.
As for the location, internet sleuths quickly jumped on the case, combing flight radar records and scanning satellite images. User Austin B. Grant claims the monolith is here, halfway between Canyonlands National Park and Moab, Utah. Comparing old and new images, he says it appears it showed up sometime between August 2015 and October 2016. Or could it have been here even longer?
Based on what it's made out of, it could have looked like that even, 50 years ago or more.
Okay. Who does this kind of stuff?
For now, officials say they won't pinpoint the exact location, saying they're worried inexperienced trekkers might get lost or stranded.
It might be one of the most remote areas in the lower 48 states. There's a lot of country out there. It's canyon country. We definitely don't want our helicopter going out there needlessly because people are trying to find something that we told them the location of.
In the meantime, officials remind people and aliens it's illegal to install structures or art without authorization on federally managed public lands, no matter what planet you're from. And since this monolith is on federal public land, the U.S. government will now have to decide whether to tear it down or to let it stay. And of course, the biggest mystery is who put it there and how. That is all still under investigation. And as they used to say on the X-Files, Lindsay, the truth is out there.
It's out there. Some good fodder for conspiracy theorists for sure. Thanks to Clayton for that. Before we go tonight, our image of the day. Take a look at these boxes. They represent acts of kindness. Every year since 5th grade, Matthew Connolly has given Christmas cards to each teacher, cafeteria worker, and janitor in the Texas town that he lives in. But this year, he upped the ante after seeing the incredible efforts of teachers during the pandemic. He mailed more than 2,000 Christmas cards, one for every school district in all of Texas, because he said he wants the state's teachers to feel valued, appreciated, and loved. Years of dedication that are certainly appreciated. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us, and good night.